What's up, everybody? I'm the Everyday Dad. If I can figure it out, you can figure it out. Welcome back to the replay. I don't know how much of that you just got, but welcome back to it anyway. So, CES 2018 is currently going on right now. And I didn't go, obviously. Whoop, forgot a whole part of the thing. There we go. Okay, so CES 2018 is going on right now. Couldn't make it. So DJI decided to announce a brand new gimbal called the Osmo Mobile 2, which totally invalidated the movie I was planning on making today, which was going to be a comparison between the DJI Osmo Mobile 1 and the Snopa M1. And since I can't do that, let's just talk about all the cool stuff that's coming out of CES. Thanks, DJI, for ruining the video, because at the point, I'd already scripted it, filmed everything, but at that point, I was like, well, now the conclusion of the video is, well, wait. And what kind of a video is that? That's a super boring video when the conclusion is invalidated. So we're just going to talk about some cool tech today. Now, this is obviously not my normal live stream that I do on Saturdays. This is a solo show. The Everyday Wife is definitely not here, so I'm not able to monitor the comments. So what we're going to do, I've got like 5 or 6 things that I really want to talk about that is coming out of CES that's just blowing my mind. And then after all of that, we'll do like a Q&A at the end. But if you have something huge and you just want to catch my eye, I've got a monitor of you guys like right over here. Just leave like a super chat and I'll definitely see it. But on with the talk. So first up, the thing that destroyed the video I was planning on making today, the Osmo Mobile 2. So the Osmo Mobile 2 looks incredible. It definitely has some things that I'm very excited about. So some of the pros that I've noticed, obviously I'm not at CES. I can't talk about what is actually on it, but it looks to be lighter. It looks to be cheaper. It's $129. Like, that's amazing. Like, that's what the Osmo Mobile should have always been, was $29 or $129. That's incredible. 100% good on DJI for seeing what the actual market will pay for it. So that's awesome. Number 2, looks like it's going to have a longer battery life. They're reporting 15 hours of battery life. I mean, look at that thing. It looks tiny, but that's going to actually be able to be another portable battery that you can bring with you when you're filming or when you're doing anything out there. And if you saw my DJI Spark accessory video about the case, I love being able to have more batteries with me, and if it can double in another device, that's awesome. Another pro is the zoom in feature. So if you see on the left hand side up here, on the left hand side it's not the on off switch anymore, it's a zoom. And so you'll be able to use your phone's zoom ability to do like some cooler shots, and that is another, that's amazing. That's so, I mean, yeah, when you get into digital zoom versus optical zoom, that is not going to be as good because optical zoom is better, but I just think being able to use your phones to get more cinematic things is going to be awesome. And then I don't necessarily agree with it. I know I had a conversation with Stan Cook about this one. It does have a vertical shooting mode. So if you remember the Snopa M1 video where it also does vertical really easily, vertical is kind of where Facebook and where Instagram are going. So a lot of the gimbal companies are going to be moving towards that. I prefer shooting in wide. That's not something that I do, shoot vertically, but if that's what the market says, that's what companies are going to do. And the tripod mount is on the bottom. I don't think you can see it. Yeah, you definitely can't see it from that picture, but that's where the tripod mount should have always been. Having the tripod mount here on the side was never a good idea, and I'm really glad that DJI was able to see that, hey, we probably should do something else, because that's not very good. So there are some things that I don't like about it, to be quite honest. So, and I shouldn't have just set this down. The trigger, they're dropping the trigger on the back. You can kind of see it in the picture I've got here. But I really like this trigger. One of the best things, if you saw my video about the Osmo Mobile, is when you start moving your phone around, when you start using the gimbal, the ability to reset it is incredible. Like that, it's such a pain when you gotta like, that is a pain, and I like that ability to do that. I'm kind of sad to see the trigger go, but I'm really excited to see where they go with the Osmo Mobile 2. I'm really excited. Speaking of gimbals, let's roll right along. The thing that I'm in, because I've been thinking about getting a really big gimbal, and the Ronin S. So this is DJI's first one-handled mirrorless camera, DSLR camera gimbal. Obviously I love gimbals because I'm the everyday dad. Gimbals are something that I just never get sick of talking about because gimbals are amazing. And that gimbal just looks, if you see, it's actually, whoa, hey, Ken Heron, thank you for the super chat. What did Ken Heron have to say? I hope you're feeling, Ken, I hope you're feeling okay. Hold on, I gotta, for some reason now the computer is doing its normal not wanting to work when I want it to work things. I am a compulsive gimbler. That's something that I can't help. I buy gimbals very compulsively. But yeah, that Ronin S, one of the things you may have noticed, and something that I'm excited about for it, is you can see in this picture on the right-hand side, the motor in the back is actually set below, so it won't interrupt the screen. Like, you'll be able to use your screen and the camera at the same time. When I had my Zhun Crane M, that was one of the things that was kind of a pain, was I wasn't able to use the screen because it was blocked by the motors, and that was awesome. And it's awesome that they're changing that. So great. So some of the pros I wrote down about this gimbal: works with heavier cameras, yep, we talked about, and it is modular, so there's accessories that you can buy to work with it. They haven't said what the price is going to be yet. I'm assuming it's probably going to be pretty expensive. That's why this list of things I'm excited about for CES is like 5 or 6 instead of like everything. Because legitimately, everything coming out of CES, I'm excited about. Yeah, I'm turning into like a gear guy. You can't see it around here, but there's gear surrounding me everywhere, and basically everything. I could just put a picture of CES up right here, and that would be the entire video. So I assume it's going to be about $1,000 for that gimbal, but that's one of my first cons, is it's going to be expensive. You can't get those kind of features without it being expensive. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, you don't want them to build it cheap, but I think another one of my cons is I think the price is going to move it away from like regular YouTubers or small YouTubers. Home videos is probably stretched too far for that. I definitely would recommend, well, I guess I can't recommend anything because I haven't seen it yet, but I think cell phone gimbals will probably be the everyman's gimbal, and then these gimbals will be more specialized, but I'm almost certainly going to get one. I won't be able to help myself. Okay, so next up, we're going to talk about a DJI product that's not really a DJI product, and that is the Tello drone. It's from a company called Rise. It's a company called Rise is, I think, licensing some of the technology from DJI to make this drone, and it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it's going to be a $99, maybe FPV racer / just kind of toy drone, and it looks amazing. It looks like it's I saw an interview today from iPhondo. If you haven't seen iPhondo's videos, you need to go check him out. He's got videos about like hands-oning this stuff at CES. But from his video today, the people were talking about, it's supposed to be like an indoor drone, just like an indoor play-around drone for kids. And there's an ability to, like, I guess, teach it how to fly with code. So you get to fly a drone, which is awesome, and you get to learn how to code at the same thing. That sounds like a win-win to me. So I'm also very excited about that. That's the first, but not last drone that I'm going to talk about today. And so my pros on that one, obviously the price, $99. That's not, I mean, I've never had a real race drone. I don't know that it's going to be considered a real race drone, even if it will work with FPV goggles or glasses or whatever you call them. I think it's goggles. Tell me if it's goggles, because I'm pretty sure it's goggles. But it's going to be a perfect entry-level drone to like fly around. I'm definitely going to get one for me to try out, but it'll probably end up in the hands of the everyday kid, because I'm trying to slowly get him into drones. But then I've let him fly the Mavic Pro Platinum a couple times, and it makes me nervous when he touches it. It just makes me nervous. It's making me nervous thinking about it right now. So probably end up being like an everyday kid thing, because it's got a camera on it that does, I believe it's 720p. It's got most of DJI's awesome technology on the inside. Definitely looks like it's going to be a good time. Cons. Doesn't look like it comes with a controller. I haven't seen a controller for it. Hopefully there will be like an accessory with a controller. That's what I would hope. I don't know. It looked like they were using their cell phones, and while I have championed the DJI Spark with a cell phone, that flies itself most of the time. I don't need to really babysit it. So if it so I think for a toy or a race drone like this, I would really want a controller. Yeah, definitely going to need a controller for that. And I can't really think of very many other cons other than that. For 99 bucks to get into like an entry-level drone, that's a pretty good deal. I have tried out a whole bunch of like toy drones, you know, on the channel and just in fun. And if they can't fly in the house, like we did that race drone I checked out. The everyday kid loves flying it. But it's really hard to fly. He doesn't end up enjoying it as much because he wrecks it an awful lot. I mean, I do too. Maybe. So I'm really excited about it. They were saying it gets like 14 minutes of battery life. In that little drone, like 14 minutes of battery life. That is out of control for amazing battery life. I mean, that's amazing. Robert Malachek, I hope I pronounced that right. Well, thank you very much. Keep it going. Robert, I will keep it going. You keep it going. So, Tello drone, we'll look at it again real quick. It just looks fun. What part of that just does not look fun? And when you're an adult, it says it's for kids, but when you're an adult with and you try to be a kid on the inside and just have fun, I'm definitely going to get it. That's amazing. Okay, so now we're going to move away from the realm of drones and gimbals. Well, it's kind of involved with gimbals. So, obviously, I don't like how the iPhone works with my gimbals. It's terrible. It just does not work. I hate that jello. I mean, it physically works, but that jelloing just kills me. Like, even when I was making the video for the Snopa M1, I had to very selectively cut all of that footage because there's a lot of that warping that goes on because of the optical image stabilization built into the iPhone. It's a great system, just doesn't work with gimbals. So next up is the Sony XA2 Ultra. I'm definitely looking for a new phone, basically just to be a camera to use with these gimbals, and this looks amazing. Basically, since everything I already own camera-wise has a Sony sensor in it somewhere, I would imagine that because this is a mid-range phone, it's not like a high-end iPhone, it's not a Note, it should be a reasonably priced phone, which definitely works for me. But Sony is so good with cameras. I'm definitely excited about that. I don't know. I didn't look into a lot of the specs about the phone calls or I think it has like a last year's processor in it. That's not what I'm concerned about. The front-facing camera, it has two front-facing cameras because super selfies. And that vertical stuff we were talking about with those kids and their Instagrams and Snapchats and Facebooks and all that stuff. But it has some awesome front-facing camera. The rear-facing camera do 4K, 30 frames per second. Again, Sony. My only concern, one of the cons I wrote down, is it is optically stabilized. So that could potentially not work with a gimbal, unfortunately. That, you can't turn it off, and if it overfights with a gimbal, then it's not going to work either, and I'll have to try something else out. Like the Essential phone that I tried out is unstabilized, which sounds like it wouldn't be great, but with a gimbal, it works out perfectly. So we'll have to see. I am very excited about the budget or the mid-range Sony XA2 Ultra. It's got the word Ultra in it. How could it be bad? Seriously, how could it be bad? The answer is we don't know yet because I haven't touched any of them. And another con I wrote down, I got to make sure that I'm hitting all my high notes and low notes, is the bezel. Like, phones these days are moving to like the Samsung Galaxy 8 line where it's got almost no bezel. The new iPhone has no bezel. And then the Sony's like, we need more bezels. It's like, build us a bezel. And I mean, I guess it doesn't matter too much to me because I've got an iPhone 7 Plus that has a huge bezel. But I would like to get a phone without a bezel. without a bezel? We'll see. We'll see, but I am very excited about the Sony XA2 Ultra. And moving on. So we've talked about gimbals. We've talked about drones. What's the next? Action cameras. Because it wouldn't be the everyday dad without talking about the three pillars. The three pillars of awesomeness. I definitely need to think a better name for that up. But the coolest action cam I saw was the Mocha Cam. It looks like it does 4K video. From what I was reading on their description, is it can be a point-and-shoot camera and an action camera at the same time. And you see that second module on there, I believe that is actually the battery. So it is a magnetic battery, which could be good or could be bad. When it comes to action cameras, especially if I'm riding like on my mountain bike and I don't know, I feel like a magnetic battery would probably fall off. Magnets, I don't know. I'm sure there's some super magnets out there, but that's the really big one for that is the Pro, super tiny form factor. I like that modularity seems to be the thing that's in these days, is people want more modular cameras, phones, all that stuff. It definitely looks awesome. And it seems reasonably priced, $279 for a point-and-shoot / action camera. That puts it in line with the GoPro Hero 5 Black or the Yi 4K Plus. So if it ends up being good, that could be a new champion for the channel. I just love action cameras, and I'm very excited to try this out. It did look like I saw an Indiegogo for a Mocha Cam a year or two ago, so I don't know if that's any different than this one. I don't know why you would release it for sale previously, but then release it new at CES. I'm not a tech professional. I don't actually know, but it just seems kind of weird to me that you would do a campaign for it and then release it later. That's why I don't make tech. So yeah, like I said, magnetic battery, and it looks like a camera that was released earlier, but I don't know. It looks pretty cool. With some of the other news that are coming out, this isn't really something I'm excited about, but you know, GoPro looks like they're laying off their whole drone staff. I mean, like I said I think I tweeted this out. GoPro, the Karma was not competitive. I don't want them to like keep making something that's not competitive because it's not as good as what else is on the market. But it also sucks when like 300 people lose their jobs. So that's terrible. I hope they're able to land on their feet. GoPro looks like, from something I was reading, looks like they're trying to sell themselves somewhere. So maybe we'll find like DJI buys GoPro or Apple buys GoPro or somebody. I think GoPro still has a good product. I think they're a good name when they stick to their little niche. And if they can stick to their niche and send out something with a reasonable price at a reasonable level of quality, I think they'll be able to like save the brand at least, maybe not the company in its current form. Because when you really think about it, GoPro a few years back were selling their cameras for like $500, but it was for professionals. It was a professional tool for athletes to get footage. And then it seems like they veered into the consumer frame, and the consumer frame is where the money's at. I mean, I'm a consumer. I'm a regular person. I want an action camera. I don't want to spend $500 on it. The only reason I spent $500 on it is because the channel, you know, if I'm going to review it, I'd like to review it against what everybody knows. So hopefully GoPro will land on their feet. I think the direction they should go, if GoPro, if you're listening, because you should be, because I'm the everyday dad. but if you're listening, do more like the Hero 5. Well, Hero 4. Don't do like the Hero 5. Go back to like a time when the video was okay, the price is reasonable. People will then use it. If you don't, people are just going to use their cell phones. Because the camera on my cell phone is better than the GoPro, and I've already spent $500-600 on the phone. I don't want to spend more money on it. So, come on, GoPro. I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling for you. Okay, so we've talked enough. Who is that in the chat? Is that the everyday wife? You said she wasn't going to be in here. The everyday wife. Hey to the everyday wife. If you were not here for the last live stream, you should definitely subscribe to her channel that has no content in it just because it makes her uncomfortable. 100% you should do that. Okay, now to the thing that I am most excited about from CES. This could change a lot about what I do in the channel, and I am just so excited about this. The Autel Evo. Like, no kidding. This could be exactly what I'm looking for in a drone. It basically, I mean, it's a Mavic clone, basically, but from what I'm seeing, from what their promotional stuff is saying, it looks exactly like what I want a drone to do. So if you saw my original like DJI Spark obstacle avoidance video, what I really wanted out of that was a drone to follow me and weave in and out of trees. They are saying that this drone actually has avoidance. Like, it'll fly and then move around like that. If that is true, I mean, obviously people make hype stuff all the time, but if they can legitimately deliver on what that drone is capable of, that I will sell my Platinum for it, like legitimately. It's supposed to do 4K 60 frames per second. I don't use 4K 60 frames per second, but it's fancy. Specs matter. Like I said, high quality folding drone, actual obstacle avoidance. I hadn't seen what kind of sensor's actually in the camera, but that's a huge honking looking sensor. Maybe 1 inch? Here's hoping. The gimbal looks more robust than the gimbal on the Mavic. Here, if you can see, the gimbal definitely looks utilitarian. And I like that because I'm very nervous every time I break out the Mavic. I'm always afraid I'm going to break the gimbal because I don't know. But if that gimbal works half as well, if the gimbal works good, I don't know. I really think the Evo, when it releases, if they deliver on it, I'm probably going to get rid of my Mavic. I'll keep the Spark because the Spark's amazing, but that Evo just so good. So good. The con, we don't know the price yet. It will, and this sucks for Autel, but you could get a refurbished Mavic Pro for what, like $700 right now. That is tough to beat. That is legitimately tough to beat because the Mavic Pro is fantastic. It is, I think the Mavic Pro, like I've said about the Spark, they are game changers in what they give the regular person. So the Mavic Pro, the Spark, give a person that doesn't know anything about drones the ability to go out and get really good footage without even really knowing what to do. And when you can get that at $700, I don't know that obstacle avoidance is worth. I don't know what their price is going to be, but it can't be much more than $1,000. If it's more than $1,000, it's not gonna displace DJI. So they got to be super. I'll tell you, got to be super aggressive with it if you want to sell it, because DJI is going to be just as aggressive back. Some of the cons, I don't really like the orange. I'm more of a fan of matte finish than I am of shiny finish. I don't really like shiny stuff. I like matte. So it's shinier. I mean, that's not a deal breaker. I guess if I lose it, then I'll be able to find it because it's orange. But I don't really like the color. Release date, I don't know when the release date is. Hopefully soon-ish, because I'm getting the itch to buy another drone. And the Tello will only hold me over for so long. So those are the things. Like I said at the start, there's so much stuff coming out of CES. I really want to go next year. Definitely going to see if I can pull that off because so much good stuff. I'm really excited about a lot of it. But these, 5 or 6 things you will definitely see on the channel because I'm going to get each of these things to share with you guys. Yeah, there'll be some other things that I obviously get in the future, but these are the these that I'm definitely going to be moving towards. So if you have any questions, if you have any things you want me to check out when I start racking and stacking and getting these things, you can always leave me a comment. You can always follow me. I think I've got my Instagram and all that stuff in the description below. If you want to follow me, leave me a comment or a message, a DM on Instagram, or a tweet, or a Twitter, or a Twitter a TM, a Twitter message. Do any of that stuff. I try to respond as quick as I can. And now we will go to the comments. That is the technology that I'm excited about from CES. So we'll do, man, I've been yakking for 24 minutes now. We'll do like 10 minutes of Q&A, 10, 15 minutes of Q&A, and then I got to get going because it is a work night. Okay, but hey, everybody, Ken Heron is definitely here. Ken, I know I said it earlier, but I really hope you're getting better. I hope you're feeling better. I'm sure you've been chatting in the comments, but from all of us at the Everyday Family, seriously, we're glad you're, okay-ish, but we're definitely glad that you're getting better. And I need to see your video about, I saw your video about flying your drone in the hospital. Definitely got to check that out later. Okay, I don't know, who's Matt? Yeah, Robert, Robert, if they can deliver on everything they're saying, I'd pay $1,000 for it. But if it ends up being like marketing Django or marketing, what's jargon? That's the word I'm looking for. If it's like marketing jargon, it's not gonna be worth $1,000. And I don't know. That's one of the rough things when you start making YouTube channel about technology. If you've ever seen the Simon Sinek, the Start With Why, the Start With Why guy, he does like this curve of early adopters leading into something else. I don't remember the exact talk, but when you're a YouTube tech channel, you're one of those early adopters for right or wrong, and it really stinks when you get something and it's a lemon. Thankfully, I haven't had that issue too much though, but yeah. Okay. This is an actual wall. Well, it's a wall with like a paper on it. It's got some paper on it. I do have a green screen. I never use it because it was the green screen was folded weird and I didn't like it. So this is just like a piece of paper. I got it at the Hobby Lobby, and then there's like a light back here. Works out really well, I think, personally. Whew. The non-sponsored taste of Coke Cherry Zero. So good. I'm not sponsored by Coca-Cola Industries. I think it's Atlanta, Georgia. Jerry, I agree with you. I have also given up on the hand gestures for the Spark. I like the hand takeoff and landing. I use those all the time. But like the wave is terrible. And people in the comments tell me, no, you're just not doing it right. I've been trying for 6 months. And that's very valid. Maybe it is me. Could 100% be me. But if I can't figure it out after 6 months, it is a lost cause. It is a lost cause. So, yeah. Yep. What else? Fen, do they have hand gestures for the Mavic? I have not. I have not tried it out because I didn't know they did it. I've really, like I said, the hand gestures I've never really enjoyed. They're kind of a pain. It's just not worth it for me, except the takeoff and the landing. The takeoff and the landing, because I hate like putting my drone down on dirt or trying to take off from dirt, because I do a lot of my stuff in the backcountry. And so I like being able to catch it. That way, you know, you're not in the turbines or the motors or the sciencey engineer jargon stuff. That way I don't have to get any of that in there. But like, you guys try to tell me to hand catch the Mavic all the time, and I've done it once, but it's I think I can do it every time. It's just folded up on itself, and then every time it's flying, and those like weed whacker blades are like by my arm. I just get nervous trying to hand catch the Mavic. I get nervous. It worked for me that one time because the battery legitimately died while I was flying it. That's okay, but I'm getting nervous thinking about it right now. What do we got? Yes, we're at almost 30 minutes. We'll do another 10 minutes if you have any questions, like about the CES stuff, drones, YouTube channel stuff. I do want to thank everybody, real quick. The channel, like in the last 2 weeks, has just gone, where's the soundboard? I didn't get the soundboard because the Everyday Wife normally does the soundboard, but the channel, like in the last 7 days, has gained like 1,300 subscribers. So I'm very impressed. Like we, at 10,000 subscribers, the Everyday Wife is going to be on our Saturday live streams, and we're getting, since it's happening faster than I thought it was going to happen, I'm not getting her own setup yet. She'll actually take my current ring light. I'll give her the old webcam. I'll set some other lights up, so it should still look roughly the same. But, man, I'm excited. I'm excited that the channel's getting bigger. It's just crazy that I went to bed one night and then woke up, and the channel's like, I'm going to get in a big darn hurry. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. Oh, hey, YouTube just gave me a notification. The Everyday Dad is currently live right now talking about CES 2018. That's crazy. That's crazy. Who would have known? Nth Degree, you are a braver man than I to hand catch that thing. Guns Rust. The two drones that I was talking about were the Tello, this little guy right here. It's not a DJI drone. It's by another company. And then the Autel Evo by Autel. Those are the two drones that I'm most looking forward to. I saw Unique put some stuff out. They look really cool. All the stuff looks great. The Unique was like $1,800 though. If I'm gonna spend that much on a drone, I'm just gonna get a Phantom 4 Pro. And that's the problem. Like I guess it's a good problem to have, but that's the uphill fight that all these companies have to deal with. Is DJI's entrenched. Like, you got to move people out. So there's like the war of first truth, right? So it's easier for me to believe something I'm told for the first time than to like unentrench it. It's harder for me to disbelieve it than it is to believe it the first time. And the world now thinks DJI are the best drones, and fighting that's going to be an uphill battle. And when you're releasing a drone that's $1,800, that's a competitor with a Phantom 4, man, it's got to like, I don't know, take pictures that are, when I hit print, that it prints in gold. Like, it's got to print those things in gold, like, natively. Like, I shouldn't need to buy an adapter to print gold stuff if you're going to charge that, because you're not going to, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Okay, if you have some questions, some footage on, yeah, Sean, if you have stuff about the Mocha, definitely share that. I'm very, that's the only action camera that I really saw coming out of CES, and I'm very excited to see how that goes. So definitely let me know. Bill, Utah, yeah, I know. So I'm actually sitting down this time. At the live stream on Saturday, I was standing up, which was making the backlight like coat the body, and it did not look great at all. So this time it's actually like behind me in the chair pointing up. So it's actually working. Did Bill Utah? Oh yeah, Bill Utah. Bill Utah was like, "Hey man, that doesn't look that great." Not calling you out or anything, Bill. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the color, the Chiro, the color doesn't look great. I would prefer matte, but if they can deliver on what they say they're gonna have, I'll just take it like that. It'll be worth it to me. And the dog's going crazy if you now hear barking. I know where. Okay. Guns Rust. Yeah, you're gonna buy a new drone in April. Yeah, it just depends. I would wait. I mean, or you could get a DJI Spark right now. They're very reasonably priced. I know a guy that really likes them. But yeah, if you want to wait, some of this stuff is great, but you got to. Here's the concern I have about waiting is you never know what's around the corner, or you never know how long it's going to take for it to release. So if you wait, maybe that drone's not released until like the holiday season. So you wait 12 months without a drone, where you could buy a refurbished Mavic right now, and then you could always resell it on eBay later. Or you could buy a Platinum or a Spark, and you can always resell it and recoup most of the money back. That way you get a drone now, and then when the next one comes out, you can always get it. Yes, there's always a concern that, oh, I'm going to buy a drone, or I'm going to buy a camera, I'm going to buy this setup, and then tomorrow there's going to be something else out. Well, as we see on the channel all the time, there is a market for people that want to get last year's stuff, and I sell stuff on eBay all the time to fund all of the stuff for the channel. So I would go out and get a drone now, resell it at some point, and then get the new one when it comes out. Okay. DJI being serenaded by both Apple and another big company. They're unique. A quality company in China makes them untouchable. Fen, I don't know that it makes them untouchable. I think as we go forward, a lot more quality is coming out of China just in general. Look at the Yi action cameras. Chinese company, they're doing great. A lot of the Xiaomi stuff is pretty good. Zhun, like I think there's a whole line of Chinese companies that are actually starting to starting to produce quality. And it's going to be hard for companies to keep up with it. So like DJI, hey, we have this cell phone gimbal. We're going to sell it for $390, or yeah, it was $299 or $399 when it first came out. Hey, that's not going to work in this market because Zhun sells theirs for $129 and always puts it on sale for $99. You're not going to win that battle because it's good enough. And that's, that's the theme of the channel, is how good is good enough. Do you need to buy a $500 GoPro Hero 6 Black? Well, I guess they're $400 now. Do you need to buy that if you're just trying to make home videos? No, you really don't. Do you need to buy, a 4K capable mirrorless camera if you're making home videos? No, not necessarily. The Chinese companies are going to win because the average consumer market is going to flock to their lower price tags because it gets you 80% of the way there. I mean, it's not that they are going to do that. I am already doing that. So if Apple were to buy DJI, I don't know that anybody would be able to afford DJI. Like, I think DJI, I don't know. Yeah, Mr. Mario. Yeah, they're shutting down their whole drone division, which sucks because those people are going to lose their jobs. But, Sid Harsh. I don't want to talk about how much my setup is because the everyday wife could still be watching. How can I see people that are watching? Everyday wife, are you still watching? She might not be watching. She might not be watching, but it's more than she would be happy with me for. Let's just say that. I mean, anybody could. I don't know that it's a. Hey, this company's worth $1 billion. Hey, we can go purchase them for $1 billion. I think if you're going to try to buy a company like DJI, you're going to have to do more than just like, hey, we want to buy you. You're going to have to get some state actors into it, and I think that's where the problems are going to come in. Okay, Jeff Baker, thank you for telling me that she's not there. So for my setup, for this live stream setup, what we've got is, I'm not going to be able to show you everything because it's not going to be able to get in frame, but I've got my MacBook like right here in front of me I'm using OBS, which is free software, everyday wife. I'm using free software. But I've got a Sony a6300. It's currently plugged into a Blackmagic recorder thingy, Ultra Studio recorder, with an AT2020 microphone plugged into a Magic box of stuff. And I've got a Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter lens on it. Oh, and I've got my audio monitor, the Apple AirPod. And then I've got this thing over here that's not doing anything right now because I can't plug two HDMI things in at once. So it's over here. It's over here giving me comfort that if I needed to, I could use it. I don't even have a battery in it, so I guess it doesn't matter. And then the backlight is just a cheap LED backlight. Okay, 37 minutes. We will go to 45 minutes, I guess. 45 minutes, because then I got to get ready for work tomorrow. Snaps, I don't know. Do I think there's going to be a new Mavic or Spark? I don't think so. Unless Autel delivers, there's no pressure on DJI to release a new Mavic or a new Spark. Like, they own the market. Like, look at the low-end drone market. It's DJI. They've destroyed that market. Not destroyed, but they have just Unique, goodbye. Dobby or Zerotech, goodbye. Parrot, goodbye. Parrot's still kind of there, but they are the owners of the small or the low end and the mid-range drone market. So why would they spend money on that if they could just rake in the profits? Now, if Autel becomes a serious threat, well then yeah, I think they'll speed up production on it. But I mean, we talked about this in a live stream last week or 2 weeks ago. Like, what could they even do? Like, besides being, faster, lighter, better camera, there's not much. I don't know much that they could do to improve it, to like be like, oh my goodness, they've improved it. But yeah, I have crashed my Spark a lot. L-Dog, my Spark has been wrecked an awful lot. Not like on purpose. I'm just not the best drone pilot, and if I'm flying my drone and I think there's a chance that I'm gonna wreck it, I always take the Spark because, man, it has wrecked a lot. It has wrecked a lot. Tyson, when do I think the Phantom 5 will be out? I don't know, maybe sometime this year? Like I said, I haven't heard anything about it. I was kind of hoping that DJI would be announcing drones at the at CES this year. Maybe they'll wait for the next big tech show to announce something, because there's an awful lot of competition here. Maybe wait for something where they're the only keynote players to announce it so they can get all the press. But yeah, I don't know when. Hopefully soon. That would take my interest too. It's not that I'm not interested in unique. You know, I checked out the Breeze. The Breeze is a great little quadcopter. But when I look at their Typhoon, like the Hexablade setup, I like quad blade setups. I don't know why. Maybe the Hexablade, maybe I just need to accept the Hexablade as a legitimate thing. I'm sure it's more stable. It's got better everything else. It just looks too big. Like I'm not a professional videographer. I like small, light gear that I can get good enough quality with. That's why I really like the Spark. I really like the Platinum. I have a Sony a6300. It's a tiny camera. I have all this stuff that I can just take with me and move somewhere else. And I'm even using my cell phone more and more to make a lot of these videos. So I don't know that I'd get a Typhoon. And that's why I had a Phantom 4 Advanced for a couple days before the Spark broke it. I don't see the Spark, so I feel safe. But yeah. Yep. Okay, what do we got? Yes, Shiro, the Spark is absolutely a tank. It is absolutely a tank. But when you take the when you take the GPS out, a whole lot of things change, and DJI is not the runner in the market. Well, I mean, if you take GPS out, then well, yeah. That's like saying, okay, I'm gonna take the propellers off the drone, and then they are not competitive in the point and shoot category. It's a little snarky. I'm not trying to be that snarky with you, but GPS is a big reason that drones are able to... You would not have the level of camera drones you have right now without GPS, unless maybe like the Inspires, where you have a pilot and a camera operator. Then somebody could babysit the drone while that happens, but GPS and GLONASS, without those, we would not have the camera drones we have today. Fen, it definitely looks like you cursed your weather. That's fine. That's fine if you cursed it. That sucks that you're not able to fly your drone right now. Don't worry. When you're able to, you'll enjoy it. When you're able to, you'll enjoy it. Snaps, yeah, the Osmo 2 looks amazing. I'm so excited for it. Yeah, Jeff Baker, the new drone does not have GPS, or the Rise does not, but they are designing it to fly inside. They're saying it's not really that much of an outdoor drone, so if they're able to use sensors to visually see everything in my house, and that's how they stabilize it, then that would be fine. I mean, I'm totally okay with that, but I think when you're talking about outside camera drones, you're going to run into problems if you don't have GPS. Yeah, snaps. That's the one thing. If they could release those low noise props for the Spark, I would buy them in an instant. I would buy those wholeheartedly in an instant. I think those would be an amazing addition, because the Spark is loud. You don't think about it too much when you first start flying it, but then when you get something like a Mavic or the Mavic Platinum, it just sounds like this angry bee's nest of anger. Too many angers. Yeah, I know, Jeff, I know, but I'm a kid at heart, and so I'm a kid at heart, so that's my justification. When the everyday kid's like, "Daddy, I want to play," I'm like, "But I'm the kid at heart. You take your turn." Tyson, yeah, it's funny. I didn't even come up with that TED thing. I forget who did it, but maybe when I first got the Spark, it was TED, 3-letter TED. I'm the one, I added the TEDD because TED's like trademarked. But somebody else came up with that, and it's been like, that's the cool thing about YouTube. We got 1 minute left, so I'm just going to gush about having a YouTube channel for a second. The cool thing about YouTube is this community here. Like, this is amazing. Like, I don't come up with most of the good stuff that happens in the channel. You guys do. Like, it's so cool that it works out that way. I'm reminiscing on the last year. I will have been doing this channel for a year in like next week, and that's crazy to me. We're gonna hit 10,000 subscribers here real soon. I'm wistful, but I'm ready for us to go back, kick some butt in 2018. Okay, so Thanks everybody for coming out. I just wanted to gush about some of the technology I saw at CES since I couldn't go. I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for coming out. Videos will still be doing a Friday video, and the Everyday Wife and I will be doing our normal live stream this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. So thanks for watching, and since this is now a normal video, well, it's hard to do it on command. Well, hey, I'm the Everyday Dad, and if I can figure out that CES has a whole bunch of awesome tech that I just can't wait to buy, you can figure it out. Thanks for watching.